Hi guys, I don't like myself right now, and that's because I've been doing something a lot over the last couple of weeks that I really don't like to do, and in fact try and avoid doing, and that is imagining what my life would be like if I were able-bodied. Bet you weren't expecting me to say that. So the thing is that, like, a big truck just went past. I don't know if you heard that. But the thing is that, like, yeah, sure, I imagine, like, things I would do if I were able-bodied for a day. So, like, I know that if I were able-bodied for a day, I'd want to go to a rock concert or a music concert and dance in the standing bits and join in with the mosh pit and jump when the singer of the band actually tells everybody to jump and stuff. And I'd love to go, like, ice skating. I know you can do that in a wheelchair. Like, I've never done it. I really want to try. But if I were able-bodied for a day, I'd quite like to do it actually on my feet. Even though both of those things I know would probably actually get me horrifically hurt and probably aren't a lot of fun for a lot of able-bodied people or people who were able to do them anyway. But they're the things I would really like to try, and then I'd probably get myself injured, and then I would have to deal with the injury on top of my CP, cerebral palsy, returning the next day. But that sort of feels okay to just fantasize about this one day of, like, difference. But, like, actually thinking about what life would have been like if I were able-bodied is something I try not to do, because it always makes me feel like I'm being a whiny little so-and-so and really ungrateful for the fact that I can walk and I can talk and I can dress myself and use the toilet myself without somebody having to come and help me. And you know, I'm really grateful for all of those things, and when I imagine able-bodied life, I always feel like that's just taking away all that gratefulness and discounting everything that I can do and my gratefulness. And it's not that I'm ungrateful, just I made this YouTube channel and my blog as, like, a way to come and try and be positive about disability and try and change, sort of be positive about my own life as a disabled person, and hopefully, I don't know, change the way some people think about disability, or, you know, give some people hope on bad days. And then here I am making this really whiny video, and I don't like it. But I feel like if I want to give you an honest representation of my life, then I should show you this video too, I guess. And there's sort of been a couple of reasons, I think, lately why I've been sort of imagining this, and I think it's because, like, my life is really not where I was hoping it would be by the time I hit 24. Like, it's not there, and right now I'm beginning to wonder if it will ever be where I am actually kind of hoping life will be. And I know that we all go through that, and I don't put that down to my disability at all. Like, that's just not being able to get a job, which I don't really consider related to my disability. But then if I had £1 for every time somebody said, well, it's going to be harder for you to get a job than other people, then I would never need to work. I wouldn't need a job because I'd have, like, millions of pounds already. But yeah, and I sort of, this is ridiculous, I can't even believe I'm gonna say this on camera, but just lately my laptop made a noise, but just lately I've been watching all of these TV shows, and obviously all the girls in all the TV shows are really tall and really pretty, and their pretty dresses and their pretty heels, and they totter around, and they have, you know, and they just look pretty, and everybody tells them how pretty they are, and they're like, oh, it's great, and they go out dancing and they do all of these things, and I don't feel like that. I look at basically I've been watching Gossip Girl, and yeah, I've been watching Gossip Girl, but that's not the issue here. The thing is that, like, I look at these girls and they all totter around on their heels and fashion and walk red carpets and go to these premieres, and I'm not saying I want to walk red carpets and go to premieres. Ice skate, yes, not necessarily walk red carpets and go to premieres, but like, all of them is stunningly beautiful, and yet I feel like I can't relate to these girls. Like yeah, like today I'm sat here with my hair up in my best tying up ability. Hair, I'm no makeup on, I'm in baggy clothes because I've just been to physio and I wear baggy clothes when I go to physio so that it's easier to move around and stuff. And I just feel gross. And I just don't particularly feel particularly feminine, and I'm a cisgender woman, and sometimes it's nice to feel feminine, and then I just look at all of these women and like, I don't feel like I'm one of them. And I know that disability shouldn't sort of make you feel this way. And then just lately I've been reading a lot more in the media about like, ooh, how do disabled people have sex? How this, how that? And maybe that is something that I will touch upon on this channel on my blog, because it's something I've deliberately shied away from in the past, because the short answer is, just like you. Because if you pointed me to an average able-bodied person, I bet they couldn't do everything in the Kama Sutra. So the short answer to that question is just like you. I might go into it in a bit more detail, but I just... seeing this stuff and seeing these attitudes all around me is just... it's grinding me down, and I actually feel like less of a person and more of a failure. Because I'm more aware than ever of all the things that I can't do. And even though they're not important things, like, they're not even important things to me. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy with what I can do, but just lately I just feel... I feel like because I haven't got a job, I haven't had a job for a long time, I haven't moved out of the family home yet, and I'm 24, and everybody sees me and they were all like, oh, you did really well at school or really well at uni. If you can't get a job, then there's no hope for anyone. And none of my writing projects are at a point where I feel like they're ready to be sent off into the big wide world and out for people to see. And everybody's going, oh, hurry up and write your novel. And I'm like, I'm trying to write my novel. I just sort of feel a bit like I'm failing at everything. And I think when I feel like I'm failing at everything, my attitude to my disability also changes, and I would still, if you offered me a cure for my disability tomorrow, I would absolutely not take it. That is not what this is about. I am not bitter. I would not change anything. I have just been imagining if I might have felt prettier, or if I might have felt more like a woman, or been more body confident, or felt more confident in who I am as a person. Because like today I was getting off the bus, and because it takes me longer, and there was just this ginormous queue of people waiting to get on the bus to go in the other direction, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like the kind of person that everybody would hate, because I'm slowing everybody down because they're all waiting for me so that they can get on with their day, and I'm holding them up. And I just feel like that like every time I go out at the moment. Like, I just wonder what people see when they look at me. And, like, part of me wants to know, and part of me is probably quite glad that I don't know. So yeah, I just wonder if people... see me as like they see everybody else who is able-bodied, or if they see me as different. Because I don't want them to see me as different, because right now I feel so ridiculously different. It sucks. Even though I never usually feel like this. And I don't like it. And I'm sorry.